decides to drop the N-word.
Racism, we are not cured of. And it's not just a matter of it not being polite to say nigger in public. That's not the measure of whether racism still exists or not. It's not just a matter of overt discrimination. Societies don't overnight completely erase everything that happened 200 to 300 years prior.
Let's go to line 6. Kyle's listening to the Savage Nation on WBAP in Fort Worth. Kyle, you're up on the Savage Nation. Hello, Kyle.
Yes, thanks for taking my call.
You're very welcome.
What I wanted to say was the most obvious answer to the question as to why the president used that word was simply because he can. I am a white American. I call myself an American-American. And I live in a predominantly black neighborhood. And I hear that word literally dozens of times a day. And you said earlier something about even Hispanics are using the word now, which I find to be true also. But, you know, the president being, I guess, half African-American makes it okay for him to use that word. Would Ronald Reagan have used that word?
No.
Absolutely not.
No. You know what else, Kyle? I mean, this is a conversation on bringing people together and the divide on race, and then he uses language that, let's face it, he can get away with saying it, but if you're not a person of color, then you can't use it. So he even uses that moment to demonstrate the problems with race by really demonstrating the problem with race.
Yes, sir. I agree 100%.
Thank you for the call, Kyle. 1-855-400-SAVAGE is our phone number. Remember, log on to our website, michaelsavage.com. All the latest news and headlines. Let's go to line 1. Vince is listening on WFTL. Vince, this is John DePetro, and you're up on the Savage Nation. Hello, Vince.
Hi, John. Thanks.
Very welcome.
Good to take my call.
Thank you.
I'll try and make it short. I was born in South Carolina. Family moved to New York after my 9th birthday. I've been there, and I've got relatives all over the place. But what everybody is missing and dancing around the fact, what Mr. Obama and Governor Haley and Graham,
yes,
they're cowards. And what they're doing is they're playing right into the handbook of Saul Alinsky, never let a catastrophe or anything like that go to waste. And what they've got is they've got the Republicans now coming out, just those two so far. Oh, take down the flag. Take it down. It's no good. Up until a week or so ago, there was no problem with it, and there is no problem with it. This is just used as a device to knock off people that are running for president as Republicans. And one other thing I want to say.
Go ahead.
State flags of Mississippi and Georgia. Look at their flags. Georgia, the flag is almost all the stars and bars. And Mississippi also displays the stars and bars. That's a fact. Now,
you're right in a sense, Vince, that after this tragedy, they're looking for someone to go after, and it's not enough that they caught who it is, and he's a degenerate loser that should never have been in the possession of a weapon and served no real purpose, and now they have him. I don't know how long he's going to last, but it has to go beyond that, and to again further, it does seem that suddenly now they want to go beyond just him, even though he was just a lone gunman, and they want to go after something much bigger. And in this case, it is the flag and the South and the Southern pride and how much it does mean to a lot of people. 1-855-400-SAVAGE. If you're one of those people, I'll give you the time. If you fly it, if your family always has, if it's something that you do rally around that is different, I will give you a chance to make the argument, or just to enlighten us a little bit, or just give us your perspective. Let's go to line 8. Scott is listening on WFAY. Scott, this is John DePetro, and you're on the Savage Nation. Hello, Scott.
Hey, sir. Good afternoon.
Hey there.
The thing I'd like to correct is that what's displayed on the Mississippi state flag and Georgia state flag is not the stars and bars. It is the battle flag. That was never the national flag of the Confederacy.
Okay.
The stars and bars looks a lot like the stars and stripes.
Yes.
Which is the reason the battle flag was created, because on a smoke-filled nasty battlefield from a distance, the flags were often confused and you had friendly fire. So to correct the problem, the Confederate Army created the battle flag, which has the St. Andrew's cross on it.
Yep.
So that we could tell the difference between the stars and stripes and the stars and bars.
Scott, do you think some of the problem is the way Hollywood has used the flag?
If I controlled Hollywood, the education system, the universities, and the media, in a few years I could convince most people to hate the U.S. flag, and I could convince them that perversion is a civil right.
Thank you for the call, Scott. I'm just thinking of when the First Lady, the whole thing, the first time I've ever been proud of my country, just the way they regard the nation, even the president. And he's the president of the United States, and you'd never know it enlisting. And the way that he throws it out there, I think was wrong. I think the context was wrong. I don't think the first couple does anything to improve the situation. I think the situation continues to be inflamed. Let's go to line 2. Kurt is listening on WBAP. Kurt, you're up on the Savage Nation. Hello, Kurt.
Hello, John. You have really some very intelligent callers. I'll try to be as well.
That's all right. It's Dr. Savage that attracts them. Go right ahead, Kurt.
Yes, sir. Michelle, the First Lady, saying first time she was proud of her country. I remember that. Most people do. I'll tell you what. I'm a 62-year-old retired 747 captain. Been all over the world. I've seen a lot of things. And I'll tell you what. I'm so proud of the people of Charleston, South Carolina. They came together in love and mourning, and they're not rioting like the pastor said at the Sunday services, because some people expected us to riot. That's not the way we are. And you know what, Mr. President? That's not the way any of us really are. And I think everybody should turn our back on all these little fires they try to light up. The new one's the flag. Look, like Nikki Haley said, most of the people in South Carolina have a right-thinking idea about what that flag represents. So she's willing to take it down because one insane maniac kills some innocent church-going people,
Yep.
And she's going to take down the flag. She's very illogical, and she is.
Well, you're exactly right about the no rioting, Kurt. No, without question, you're right. Folks, 1-855-400-SAVAGE. This is John DePetro sitting in for Dr. Michael Savage, and this is the Savage Nation.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
My Savage Nation is sponsored by SwissAmerica.com. It's the only company I trust to protect my wealth. Call 800-BUYCOIN.
You're listening to the Savage Nation. This is John DePetro sitting in for Dr. Michael Savage. You can call into the program, 1-855-400-SAVAGE. I'm seeing that CBS in Atlanta is posting a story. Facebook petition calls for National Burn the Confederate Flag Day. More than 8,000 people have liked the petition for Burn the Confederate Flag Day. And also, with the Detroit Free Press, an op-ed, they're saying that the Confederate flag needs to be burned and also likens it to the evil and viciousness to African Americans as the Nazi swastika flag is to Jews. Let's go to line 7. Thomas is listening to the Savage Nation on WTMA in South Carolina. Thomas, you're up on the Savage Nation. Hello, Thomas.
Yes, sir. I'd like to say I've been on the fence for many years about the flag, trying to understand both sides of it. I've kind of leaned barely off the fence now. I think it should come down just because of what's going on in our nation. We've got to come together. Right now, if ISIS came over here full blown, we're not as one as a country. We've got to get our crap together and put all this petty stuff behind us.
Regardless of who the president is. I agree with you, Thomas. Again, you're listening to the Savage Nation. John DePetro sitting in for Dr. Michael Savage. And remember the website, michaelsavage.com.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now. Warning. The Savage Nation contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised. And now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation, home of unprotected talk, borders, language, culture. And here he is, Michael Savage.
And welcome to The Savage Nation. This is John DePetro sitting in for Dr. Michael Savage, taking your phone calls. If you'd like to call into the program and be part of it, just dial 1-855-400-SAVAGE, 1-855-400-7282. Celebrate America this 4th of July with Countdown to Mecca. Dr. Savage's new thriller, bestseller, Countdown to Mecca, and it's available right now at the website, which is michaelsavage.com, where you can also sign up for the Savage newsletter, which arrives 2 to 3 times a week right into your inbox, totally free at michaelsavage.com. Sign up for that Savage newsletter. And keep in mind, the Savage Scholarship winners will be announced coming up July 2nd. 1,700 applicants submitted essays. 1,700 applicants submitted essays on what it means to be an American. 5 winners of the 1,700 will receive $20,000 each, total of $100,000 that Michael Savage, Dr. Savage, put into this. Again, that's coming up on July 2nd. Also, remember at the website, whether it be headlines, all the latest news on borders, language, culture, some of the headlines right now, the Charleston killer raised on the liberal credo of Obama and Hillary. That's in the Savage newsletter. Tens of thousands of dogs skinned alive, cooked at China Festival. You also have the story on the Taliban suicide bomber. Blows himself up at an Afghan parliament as 6 gunmen attack, and a lot more. And also the Savage audio, where Donald Trump told Dr. Savage he will not run on a third party. And you can also read the Dylan Roof manifesto, which targeted blacks and Jews. He, of course, the accused gunman in South Carolina. It all starts by going to michaelsavage.com. Well, President Obama, again, the White House right now refuses to take back that the president was speaking about race. He was doing an interview on a podcast, this comedian Mark Marion's podcast. And here's what the president said. Now, keep in mind, when you hear the beep, this is the commander-in-chief, the president, dropping the N-word. Here's President Obama.
Racism, we are not cured of. And it's not just a matter of it not being polite to say in public. That's not the measure of whether racism still exists or not. It's not just a matter of overt discrimination. Societies don't overnight completely erase everything that happened 200 to 300 years prior.
There is the race baiter in chief. There's the president stirring the pot. Does that sound like someone who's trying to bridge the divide? Does that sound like someone who's bringing people together? The White House was questioned about the intention of using it and the debate. Who can use it? Who can't? People of color can use it. Again, you see any interact with any young people of color, they constantly use the word, and they use it as a form of endearment. We've heard it obviously in rap songs. I think it was interesting that the hit show on Fox, the hit show so far of the television season, was the show Empire on Fox. They wanted to use the word and were told no. And the President of the United States drops it into an interview. Now, there's other news, and it has to do with the Confederate flag. The governor of South Carolina, Nikki Haley, has announced, let's listen, she says it's got to be removed from the state capitol.
We do not need to declare a winner and a loser here. We respect freedom of expression, and that for those who wish to show their respect for the flag on their private property, no one will stand in your way. But the State House is different, and the events of this past week call upon us to look at this in a different way. 15 years ago, after much contentious debate, South Carolina came together in a bipartisan way to move the flag from atop the Capitol dome. Today, we are here in a moment of unity in our state, without ill will, to say it's time to move the flag from the Capitol grounds.
Let's go to your phone calls. Starting on line 7, Bill is listening on WABC in New York. Bill, you're up on the Savage Nation. Hello.